Encinitas is one of the most desirable communities to live right here in San Diego. But as you're thinking about potentially moving here, what neighborhoods are going to be best? What are going to work best for your situation? Well, today we're going to dive into 3 different neighborhoods and give you some insight into each one. They're all very distinct neighborhoods right here in Encinitas. So maybe one of these is going to be perfect for you, but let's get into it right now.
Before we get into those neighborhoods, just a couple of quick things about Encinitas in general. We're sitting about 35 to 45 minutes away from downtown San Diego, so that's the airport as well. And Encinitas is about 61,000 people, and it's broken up into 5 distinct districts. 3 of the neighborhoods we're going to talk about today are going to be in these districts, but you've got New Encinitas, Old Encinitas, Leucadia, Alevinhain, and you've got Cardiff. So we know that some people have been asking about Cardiff. We are going to do another video pretty soon here on Cardiff by the Sea, which is not officially Encinitas. It is considered one of the districts.
Well, it is officially Encinitas, but it's unofficially its own thing. So
it's its own zip code.
It's its own zip code, but it's literally within the city of Encinitas. Anyways, you guys asked about that one, so we're going to do a full vlog. We're also going to do that compared to Solana Beach, but anyways, that'll be for a future video. But let's jump into that first neighborhood right now. First neighborhood we're jumping into is a master plan community. It's one of the newer, bigger master plan communities right here in Encinitas, because Encinitas has a ton of different styles of housing. This one is a lot of the same style housing because it's that master plan community. This neighborhood has bigger footprint homes. The neighborhood we're talking about is Encinitas Ranch. This was all built in the early 2000s on a plot of land that there's a family here in Encinitas who has a lot of history. The Ecke family, this used to be some of their poinsettia farms out there. They still have like this big house up on the hill. It's awesome. They have like kind of like a vineyard going on up there. Anyways, it's one of the biggest properties still in Encinitas, but they have you'll see their name all over town. Nonetheless, Encinitas Ranch got built out. It originally started, like I said, early 2000s. First off, the housing. So if you're looking for bigger footprint homes, this is going to be your spot. This is going to be anywhere from like 2,500 to 5,000 plus square foot homes, 5 to 10,000 square foot lots. And depending on where you are in the neighborhood, it's going to vary widely. We've shown a lot of properties out there. We've shown a lot of clients. We've done open houses. We've seen a lot of these properties. Depending on where you are within that community, some have these smaller backyards that are kind of condensed. Some are these bigger backyards that our friends live out there. They have a pool set up. They have a fire pit. They have a big area for like a grill, a fridge, great for parties. We've been there for events. And so if you're looking in Encinitas Ranch, it's really important to know the area, know what you're actually looking for. Like I said, if you want large lot, there's specific areas that have that. If you want smaller lot, well, I don't know if you really want a smaller lot, but affordability wise, it's going to be a lot more affordable there. There's only about 500 homes within this community across a bunch of different little neighborhoods. Some are on the northern side of Leucadia. Some are on the southern portion, which is like the bulk on the southern portion of Leucadia Boulevard. So you will have some choices, and there's always a handful of homes for sale in there.
And then just feel for the neighborhood. So you're definitely going to have kind of that Mediterranean Spanish style, which we call California style now at this point, just because that is a lot of what our master plan communities are like. But it's also surrounded by a golf course, or the community is kind of wrapped around Encinitas Ranch Golf Course. It was all built at the same time, and a big portion of the homes in this area are going to be either on the golf course, they're going to have golf course views. So if you're looking for something that has kind of just some openness in the backyards, the ones on the golf course tend to be a little bit smaller yards, but you have that openness where you don't have houses behind you. You got big old green, beautiful trees, landscaping, and all that, instead of having other houses behind you.
And we will offer you guys, if you guys want to go see some houses from the golf course, we'll bring you out. We'll go golfing with you. We've been out there a handful of times. Awesome course. Not super challenging, super fun. It's one of the courses that, well, I've had my best round out there. In my best, I think I shot a 95, which is pretty good for me. But we actually ran into, last time we were filming out there, we ran into a viewer just like you. He was from, where was it, Sweden?
I believe so, yeah.
Well, so leave us a comment if you're still watching this. And towards the end of the week and on the weekend, sometimes you'll find there's, right by the clubhouse, there's this big grass area where you'll see not just golfers, but their families coming out, enjoying it. Just even not people that just didn't go golfing, just going up there to enjoy, because it's overlooking, you can see the ocean from there. It's beautiful view up there. So anyways, you do have that as an amenity right within this community as well.
The theme for this community is it's super centrally located. So going to be your closest to the 5 freeway. So if you're commuting, getting southbound, getting northbound, super, super easy from this spot. So this is the most coastal neighborhood we're going to talk about today, but there are a bunch of really cool options in Encinitas that are a little more coastal. So if you are thinking about moving out, and this might not be the neighborhood, definitely reach out to us. We've got some cool little secret neighborhoods. We've got some cool little spots that are definitely worth checking out if Encinitas Ranch isn't the spot for you. But also, convenience-wise, you're really close to El Camino Real. So you've got all the big box stores. You've got Home Depot. You've got Target. You've got pretty much every amenity that you could ever need up at El Camino Real. And your quickest drive to the beach is going to be a straight shot down Leucadia Boulevard, which ends at Beacons Beach, which is on Neptune Avenue in Encinitas.
And that's that is my favorite beach right here. Right here, it's this like switchback trail. It's like, I don't know. It's kind of hard to get down to. There's a little bit like parking's a little bit hard. There's Neptune Avenue where there's a little bit of parking that's a little bit difficult, but beautiful beach, some fun surf. It's not too crowded, but it's also not super convenient. It's also real close to one of my favorite strips, not downtown Encinitas, but like downtown Leucadia, that whole strip, restaurants and shops and all that kind of stuff.
And if you are looking for a little bit more convenient, you have Moonlight Beach to the south that's still in Encinitas, or you can go up to Ponto in Carlsbad. There's a parking lot. You literally walk right out on the sand. So there are some more convenient beaches than a lot of that kind of stretch between Moonlight and Ponto where it's all bluff. So definitely check those out, especially if you're hauling like 3 wagons and a cooler and all that stuff. There are more convenient beaches.
Yeah, you don't want to go to Beacons for that. Real quick, we almost forgot, one of the big amenities right in Encinitas Ranch is the trail system going around. So there's a few mile loop going around. There's some trails going through the community, which is awesome. I've been out running on a lot of these trails. As you're cruising through, you're going to be running at certain points, potentially through the golf course, or not through it, but well, yeah, actually through it at one spot where we were filming out there one time. You have to go through the golf course up to this little picnic area. Cool spot. You're going to find a bunch of cool little areas too. But anyways, you do have that loop, so easy to get out. Nice, beautiful walk. It's never too packed. Right across the street, across Leucadia Boulevard, you do have a new area called Box Point Farms. Now, this is a new build construction community, and I actually saw one sold last year that's on right now, which is weird. Do you see that one pop up? Anyways, like they're brand new construction. They already came back on, but we're not talking about community. They do have a good community center there for all of it's open to the public. So a nice farm to table restaurant. They have like a 5-acre, I think, farm right within that community where they bring a lot to that restaurant. You can also just go grab a beer. They have this outdoor area. They have a little market. You can grab some coffee in there. They do have events, like an event space there, a big open area for kids. So while Encinitas Ranch doesn't have a ton of like parks within the community, they do have, bring the kids there. Go let them run around right over there. There's another park real close by. If you have some little guys, get the season pass to the Botanic Gardens. There's a little kid area in there that's awesome. When our kids were little, that's where they were going. We'd go there just on weekends. They would be bored. They have like stuff for them to play with, stuff for them to build, stuff for them to climb. It's an awesome time, and that's like literally right across the street there.
If you're looking for a little bit more rural, a little bit more space, kind of a lot more privacy than a lot of the other neighborhoods in Encinitas.
And where this guy grew up.
And where I grew up. One of the neighborhoods that I love the most in Encinitas is Leeuwenhoek. And it is going to be on the kind of the more eastern side of Encinitas. You've got a lot of equestrians, so you got horses walking around. You've got just a ton of kind of just a different lifestyle out there, as opposed to kind of a little more of that beachy feel. You just have a little bit more of that rural, a little bit more of that equestrian feel in Leeuwenhoek.
In this whole area, a little history lesson for you. There's still like a central area of their old meeting hall. It's like right in the center of town, which is pretty cool. You'll find events and stuff there throughout the year. It's centrally located right, actually it's kind of right when you get into Leeuwenhoek, but it was established by German immigrants in like the 1880s. It means olive grove in German. So that's when it got established, started getting built out in like the 70s and 80s, but out there was like stricter lot size limits. So anywhere like 1/2 acre, 2 acres, a lot of the areas are like 2 acre minimums. So that's what you get out there, space. You get a lot of area, you get a lot of room to roam. And not only the lots are pretty big, but you're gonna find the houses are pretty big too. Like anywhere, like a small house out there is probably 2,500 square foot to 6,000 plus square foot homes. Like Wildflower, they have some enormous homes. There's actually still, it's a gated community within Leeuwenhoek. There's actually still a handful of lots out there. So if you wanna build brand new, go out there, build a beautiful custom home within a gated community. But you're also gonna find a lot of these houses, since they do have big land, big area. You're gonna find barns, you're gonna find equestrian, you're gonna find big like ADUs is what we call them, or guest homes out there too. So it's not just a house, you're gonna find amenities, pools, barbecue areas, tennis courts, sports courts,
yeah.
pickleball courts, movie theaters in some houses. What else? What am I missing here?
That's a lot. I mean, there are big garages, like a lot of people that are into cars, you'll find just like big garages that are dedicated to multiple cars and all of that. So if you've got a passion for something that needs a little bit more space, which, you know, passions usually do need a little bit more space. So gardening, if you want groves of any kind of fruit trees or anything like that, avocado trees, there's a lot of opportunity in Leeuwenhoek to have kind of any project that you want to work on out there.
And so once you get out to Leeuwenhoek, there's like the convenience factor drops significantly. Yeah, you have the convenience of your house, big lots, we keep mentioning that. But as far as infrastructure, you're not gonna find a ton out there. You do have the meeting hall, but there's no facilities there. It's just literally the meeting hall, like I said, events throughout the year, that kind of thing. Right outside of the community, what's the
Lavicchio's is the 7-Eleven.
Lavicchio's is there's a sandwich spot within 7-Eleven you can go to, and then right across Harvest Ranch.
Yep.
What's that community center called?
Harvest Ranch.
All right, it's called.
Is it?
I don't know. I just saw. I literally drove by the sign like today, but
It's a brand new sign.
Yeah, there's a little grocery store, like a little local grocery store, really cool little spot, great like seafood and, you know, all that you find at Normal. There's an Italian restaurant in there. There's a new coffee shop that I was reading about that's coming in there. There's a little French gourmet bakery.
Yeah.
French gourmet bakery. Yeah, whatever. Pancake house. There's a wine shop in there. So there's a few little amenities right there. But anything else?
Sneaky good. Sorry to interrupt you.
Go ahead.
It's a sneaky good sandwich spot. The market.
Lavicchio's?
No, the deli in Harvest Ranch.
Okay.
Is a sneaky good deli.
Good to know.
Yep.
That's a good point. I did not know that. Maybe I'll go there today. But other than that, once you get out there, you're not going to find a ton of parks. But one thing that is a huge bonus, and I've ran a ton of these trails out there, and there's not endless because obviously it ends at some point, but it cuts through a lot of this community because they are built for like equestrian. Since when they built this community, they kept like equestrian theme in mind. So a lot of horse trails, but you go running on them. Sometimes you'll be running, run past a horse, you know, run past a few horses. People
Watch your step.
Watch your step. Not cow patties, a lot of horse patties out there. So that's one of the biggest amenities out there. Not only do you get that, you get a ton of trails. You connect to other trails going into like Elfin Forest and Carlsbad, and I mean, there's little ways to connect. So it's a pretty cool amenity to have right there.
So location-wise for Leeuwenhoek, it's going to be the least convenient community that we talk about today. Probably the least convenient community in Encinitas, honestly. But it's really not that bad. So we hear a lot of people saying, especially as you get deep into Leeuwenhoek, saying it's just too far out there. It's not very convenient, but it's really not that far. So you're 10 to 15 minutes kind of from that corridor with El Camino Real, where you've got all the big box like we talked about before. You've got Targets, you've got pretty much every amenity you could need. And that's 10 to 15 minutes from anywhere in Leeuwenhoek. But you're also only like 20 minutes to the beach, I'd say. You're also in a spot where maybe it makes sense to go to the beaches in Cardiff rather than go in Encinitas. So there's options there, convenience-wise. But if you want peace and quiet, you want some space, you want some privacy, it's definitely worth a little bit of extra driving, and this might be your spot.
Now, if you're looking for the most affordable neighborhood in all of Encinitas, it actually happens to be the most convenient area in all of Encinitas. Village Park should definitely be on your radar. Leeuwenhoek is a bigger footprint area, but the amount of homes, there's, you know, about 1,500 homes within Village Park direct. But we call Village Park, there's a few other areas up here that are Village Park. Not really Village Park, but we're gonna call it, yeah, you're living in Village Park. And so if you guys want to know those as we're going through these and not just specifically, you got to reach out. We'll dial you into a few of these areas. There's some cool like homes that are twin homes that kind of live like single family homes that are more affordable than, yeah, all that. So we could jump into all that. But this whole area is built or was built in like the 70s, early 80s. And they designed it. It was a master plan community. And since it was built back then, it's not like these newer communities where you are right next to each other. Any new construction that you see in San Diego right now is going to be pretty tight. Yards are going to be pretty tight. The neighbors are going to be right next to you. And this is not kind of the standard. They left space in between, even within, it's a mix. So it's a mix of single family homes and townhome condos. Even the townhome condos, a lot of those live like single family homes where you're going to have not necessarily a backyard, but you're gonna have like a patio. But green belts are the biggest theme up here. So huge green belts throughout the community, and every section, they're all just kind of divided into a bunch of different sections. You're gonna find HOA amenities as well, where they vary from Rec Club 1 to Rec Club 2, Rec Club 4, there's no Rec Club 3, but pools, playgrounds, some have like, you know, wall ball, handball courts, wall ball, whatever you want to call it, tennis courts that some are converted or can be converted into paddleball courts. So you'll find a lot of that.
Pickleball?
Pickleball. You can play paddleball. I don't know what
that is.
Is that the beach one?
Maybe.
I don't know, but pickleball. So a lot of them have these little portable pickleball nets.
So for townhomes, you're looking anywhere between like 1,000 square feet, 1,500 square feet. So there's a lot of different townhome styles here in Village Park. So there's some triplexes, there's some duplexes, there's just a lot of different options, but you're kind of looking in that size. And like Chris mentioned, some of them have yards, some of them don't, they just have decks, or they'll just have a little front space that kind of connects to a garage. So they're all different, but there's a lot of different options here.
And real quick, he did mention garage. Even though you do have townhome or condo, a lot of these places have at least a single car garage, if not a 2-car garage. Mm-hmm. So our garages are our storage, our basement, our kind of workout areas, are sometimes that's where we film, in garages and stuff. So if you're thinking like condos, downtown, San Diego, super big high rises, when you go to Village Park, you're more in that townhome feeling where you do have all the stuff that we're chatting about.
And then for detached houses, you're looking from around 1,200 square feet up into the mid 2,000 square foot. So not huge houses. There are obviously some outliers here and there of some homes that are on the bigger side. And a lot of the kind of smaller homes are going to be kind of that ranch style. And that's kind of what Village Park is. There are a lot of single story houses, and then you have that kind of next level that is 2-story, but not much that's over 3,000 square feet.
And so why are we putting this one? Yeah, it's affordable. Obviously, price point, that's easy. Why are we putting it as one of the most convenient is because that El Camino corridor that stretches a few miles, it's like the main drag in Encinitas, where you have a ton of shopping centers. Some of them he's already mentioned, but just even like Trader Joe's and Sprouts for your shopping, you know, for your grocery shopping. You have like 24-hour fitness places. You have EOS Fit, so there's fitness places and Pilates places and chiropractors. There's medical buildings down there, so dentists, doctors, all that kind of stuff. Right down the road is Scripps Hospital, so a pretty highly renowned hospital right here in San Diego is only minutes away. When you go to the beach, you're sitting about 10-15 minutes from some of the best beaches right here in Encinitas. So you have all that within a quick little shot. The freeway, probably about 10 minutes. As you go down further, we've already talked about El Camino Real, all the other stuff that's down there. So just like if you're living in that area, you don't necessarily need to drive too far to go to big box stores. If you're doing a little DIY project on your house, shoot on down to Home Depot. It's
2 or 3 times.
2 or 3 times. 5 minutes away, as opposed to like certain areas where you're driving 15 minutes, you're like, oh my God, this is gonna take me an hour. Gotta go there, go back, boom, you're in and out. Pretty easy, it's super convenient, and like we mentioned, it's also one of the most affordable.
And just to piggyback on that, we get the Trader Joe's question asked a lot when we're jumping on Zoom calls and having our kind of initial chat with you guys, and Trader Joe's is asked about more often than not. Not very often can you be 5 minutes at Trader Joe's and 5 minutes at Target, and Village Park has you. A big thing that people are looking for in Encinitas also is the school. So highly renowned Encinitas School District. You have San Diego School District for those older grades. So it's definitely a big reason that people move here. All the neighborhoods we talked about today feed into those. And if you are looking for a little bit more information and just a little bit more to watch on Encinitas, a video is popping up right now. And like always, get in touch with us if you're looking to move to San Diego.